What's up, y'all? Come on in. We're actually going to have a serious conversation today. This is definitely a crimes and justice video today. I hope you guys are having a good week, man. It's Friday. It's Friday, and it's time to relax. It's been a long week. Jeez, it's been a long week. Um, I'm going to really enjoy some vacation coming up in this next week, just to take some time off and not, have to worry about anything really. Just have some fun. Going to start that off with a weekend, I think, trip. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, so I wanted to talk to you guys about what's going on with the latest in the George Floyd case. So there actually have been some big developments over the last, day or two. First development, and quite a disappointing one, honestly, is there is a man who was on the jury that convicted Derek Chauvin, and um, he someone found a photo of him, this man, this juror, with a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on. And Derek Chauvin and his attorney are now using that as a reason to appeal and overturn his guilty verdict. And all I want to say about it, and I'm not going to really say much about it, except that I don't want to see Derek Chauvin free. I feel like he is a prime example of what the maximum sentence should be. Like that his face should be right next to that. He deserves the maximum. And then it's like the audacity of him to even take the shit to trial, to put the family through all that type of shit. And then the audacity of him to appeal what we all seen with our own eyes, right? That's how it makes me feel. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little upset with this juror. Now, I know that people, you know, getting a jury summons is not always an exciting thing to do. I understand that. But when sometimes you can't let like that feeling of greed of being a juror on a nationwide known case like this one, um, yeah, that would be considered a big deal. And there's a whole lot of people that would love to sit on a jury like that. I mean, there is actually people that are into that type of thing, right? And I'm not saying that's the case with this man at all. But, it is going to speak, there's going to be a lot of I'm pretty sure there were questions asked when they were scanning the jury, right? And picking the jury. Um, Hold on, let me see something really quick. Hold on. Let's see here. I think he already filed the appeal. But even still, I mean, we're talking about a t-shirt here, you know? We're talking about the fact that our country has been going through crazy waves of police killings of Black men and women and children, increasingly so. And I would think probably almost every adult has been at a march at some point in the last few years, or a protest or a rally or something of that nature. So basically, you know, would you, if you knew that you had had a photo with a Black Lives Matter shirt, would you have, you know, made sure that you made yourself a part of the jury if the possibility would exist that they could possibly appeal this guilty verdict and get a new trial, which is fucking bullshit, man. Are you fucking kidding me? You want to go through a whole nother month of trial? You want to go through all that shit again? Bitch, if you don't take your fucking L, Derek Chauvin, if you don't take your fucking guilty verdict and stick it up your ass, man, we all know what we seen. We are not fucking blind. See, that's how I really feel about it. I would only say that be mindful of whatever pictures or things you've done in the past if you're going to go for jury duty, basically. If that's what these people want to do, if these is the games these people want to play, but that's the games they play. Just like right before, right when this trial, with the trial with Derek Chauvin went to the jury, the whole Maxine Waters situation with her saying what she said, right? Um, man, that these people, and I can use the term, I won't use the term, but there are people that just put in these laws and rules and policies, and you're always having to live under somebody's rule, somebody's law, somebody's policy, somebody's kingdom bullshit. And like I said, there's been so much that has happened over the last several years, and I've been at quite a few protests and marches and all that type of stuff. So they actually want to try to overturn this trial uh, for a new trial. And they're saying juror misconduct. They're actually trying to allege that the jury misconducted themselves. So the attorney, Eric Nelson, um, he did not refer to the jurors' participation in the march in his request for a new trial Tuesday. Chauvin, who is white, was convicted last month of second and third degree murder and second degree manslaughter in Floyd's death last May 25th. In a photo from last August's commitment march that surfaced recently, the juror Brandon Mitchell, who is black, is seen wearing a t-shirt with an image of Martin Luther King Jr. and the phrase, "Get your knee off our necks," the name of the march itself. In the photo, he is smiling alongside two men and wearing a hat that said BLM for Lives Matter. Okay, got it. So it wasn't a shirt that said Black Lives Matter, it was his hat. But honestly, um, I it's like that pisses me off to think that this motherfucker who we watched put a knee into somebody's neck. It's like he has no fucking sympathy. Like he doesn't have a soul. It's like he's fucking heartless. Why would you even appeal uh based off of a t-shirt of Martin Luther King? Like, dude, I know he's got to be a racist. He's got to be he's got to be a racist, man. He's having conversations with his attorney. He's absolutely 100% in the know on all the strategy that his attorney's doing. um And, I don't think that Brandon Mitchell did a damn thing wrong, marching, protesting. It's actually something when you look at someone, I'm really quite proud that he actually did do it. It's a good thing to do. There's a lot of change happening because of some of these protests, um, like the body cam. The only thing I don't like about the body cam, or different laws that are coming into place. I don't appreciate the ones where these police officers in these states think they could hold body cam footage private and not release it to the public. Now that right there, I do not agree with that at all. You are all paid by public tax dollars. And if you publicly run into someone and you kill them as you're doing your job as a police officer, then any fucking body camera footage on you needs to be fucking available immediately. And don't fucking edit that shit. Release the raw copy. At least release a raw copy first before you go releasing shit where you've blurred people's faces and you know what I'm saying? Because you're editing the footage at that point. For all I know, you could have clipped some shit out. That's all I'm saying. And so anyway, Brandon Mitchell said the opportunity to go to DC, the opportunity to be around thousands and thousands of Black people, I just thought it was a good opportunity to be part of something. And the thing, you know, some people are saying that some had speculated about his participation in the march that could be grounds for an appeal, but legal experts said it was unlikely that it alone would be enough to overturn Chauvin's conviction. So, you know, I'm hoping and praying that his conviction does not get overturned. But in the interim, man, some new charges came down on his ass. So Chauvin, Tao, all four of these police officers have now been charged federally. Quang and Lane, they have now all been charged with federal crimes. So the U.S. Justice Department has now indicted these four ex-officers in the death of George Floyd. So that's going to hem them up. And that's going to, you know, it's going to pretty much guarantee that something's going to happen. But essentially, the law they're using is like it's like depraved indifference, you know? Let me see if I can play this. Hold on.
Has now indicted 4 former now Minneapolis police officers for violating the civil rights of George Floyd.
Let's go to our colleague Omar Jimenez, who joins us this morning. Omar, this is different from the criminal trial that Chauvin was just convicted in and the criminal trial coming up in August for these other 3 officers. What does this mean now?
That's right. That's right, Poppy and Jim. So those are happening at the state level. These are new charges brought in by a federal grand jury from the District Court of Minnesota. These are federal civil rights charges that these 4 former Minneapolis police officers are now facing, specifically 3 counts of deprivation of rights under the color of law. Now, Chauvin faces 2 of those counts, while Officers Tu Tao and Officer J. Alexander King are facing 2 of those as well, and all of them are at least facing 1. Now, I want to get into some of the text of what this says because it gives insight for what this grand jury feels was appropriate to indict these officers, again, separate from the proceedings happening at the state level. For Chauvin in particular, the criminal complaint reads that Derek Chauvin willfully deprived George Floyd of the right to be free from an unreasonable seizure, which includes the right to be free from the use of unreasonable force by a police officer. And those are rights secured and protected by the United States Constitution, as this complaint reads. And then when you go down further, specifically, it was because Chauvin held his knee across George Floyd's neck and his right knee on George Floyd's back and arm as Floyd laid on the ground, handcuffed and unresisting, and kept his knees on Floyd's neck and body even after Floyd became unresponsive. This was insight, of course, that we saw not only from that video that played out across the world, but also day in and day out over the course of the state trial, where, of course, 12 jurors convicted Derek Chauvin of second-degree murder and more there. Then when you go down further into this, you look at what the other officers are now facing, again, in this federal case, and specifically when it comes to officers Tu Tao and J. Alexander King, they faced those civil rights charges specifically because King and Tao were aware that defendant Chauvin was holding his knee across George Floyd's neck as Floyd lay handcuffed and resisting. And then the last one that includes Thomas Lane is specifically because the defendants saw George Floyd lying on the ground in clear need of medical assistance and willfully failed to aid Floyd, thereby acting with deliberate indifference to a substantial risk of harm to Floyd. This offense
That's a
resulted in
group
bodily
of
injury and,
murderers to
as
me.
we know, death. Officers Tao, King, and Lane all made court appearances this morning. Bond was set at $25,000 for them. And again, this is separate from the trial that they will be facing later in August, of course, just weeks after Derek Chauvin was convicted of second-degree murder.
It's an important point, because oftentimes you see these civil rights cases when state court does not convict as sort of an alternative, but state court did convict him. The other three will face charges, but now you have these separate tracks.
So yeah, this stuff can get crazy, and it can make the tension and just the anger of it all, um, yeah, it was just a picture of MLK. Hey guys in the chat, I haven't even spoke to you guys. Hey Centel, hey Gloria, hey Heaven Sent, hey Natalie, hey Sugar Cane, I can see you. I can see you. What did you do to fix it? You had to have did something, because I can freaking see you now. Oh, you know what? I'm not on my main channel. That's why. I keep forgetting. But yeah, it's I don't want to see them have to even go through that again. Like, even if they were to try to do a new trial, all it is just maneuvers, legal maneuvers. Because what they'll do then is, if they God forbid they get an actual appeal for a new trial, then they'll start using excuses like they can't find a proper jury and all that type of thing, and that he can't get a fair trial and all that type of stuff. Just one obstacle after another. And I will be really disgusted if that happens. It's like, to me, we all seen the video. It was so vividly there. And sometimes you would think that people would just take the L, but they can sit up there and murder a human being right on video and still argue with you like they didn't do shit wrong, and use their job as a fucking excuse for why they murdered a man. No. But other than that, I just wanted to bring some, get back to some content, this type of content anyway, that I, really enjoy doing. So I'm off of here, y'all. I'm actually about to literally start a vacation. I don't know when I will be live next. I could be live later on tonight. I could be live a week from now. I have no clue. But I'll definitely catch up with y'all later.